The Upanishads in two parts. Part 2, translated by F. Max Muller. Prasna Upanishad, fourth question. Then Sauryayanan Gargya asked, Sir, what are they that sleep in this man? And what are they that are awake in him? What power, Deva, is it that sees dreams? Whose is the happiness? On what do all these depend? He replied, O Gargya, as all the rays of the sun when it sets are gathered up in that disk of light, and as they, when the sun rises again and again, come forth, so is all this, all the senses, gathered up in the highest faculty, Deva, the mind. Therefore, at that time, that man does not hear, see, smell, taste, touch. He does not speak. He does not take, does not enjoy, does not evacuate, does not move about. He sleeps. That is what people say. The fires of the pranas are, as it were, awake in that town, the body. The apana is the garhapatya fire, the dhyana, the anvaharyapakana fire. And because it is taken out of the garhapatya fire, which is fire for taking out, therefore the prana is the ahabaniya fire, because it carries equally these two oblations, the outbreathing and the inbreathing. The samana is he, the altar priest. The mind is the sacrificer. The udana is the reward of the sacrifice, and it leads the sacrificer every day in deep sleep to Brahman. There, that entity, the mind, enjoys in sleep greatness. What has been seen, he sees again. What has been heard, he hears again. What has been enjoyed in different countries and quarters, he enjoys again. What has been seen and not seen, heard and not heard, enjoyed and not enjoyed, he sees it all. He being all sees. And when he is overpowered by light, then that entity sees no dreams, and at that time, that happiness arises in his body. And, O friend, as birds go to a tree to roost, thus all this rests in the highest Atman, the earth and its subtle elements, the water and its subtle elements, the light and its subtle elements, the air and its subtle elements, the ether and its subtle elements, the eye and what can be seen, the ear and what can be heard, the nose and what can be smelled, the taste and what can be tasted, the skin and what can be touched, the voice and what can be spoken, the hands and what can be grasped, the feet and what can be walked, the mind and what can be perceived, intellect, Buddha, and what can be conceived, personality and what can be personified, thought and what can be thought, light and what can be lighted up, the prana and what is to be supported by it. For he it is who hears, sees, smells, tastes, perceives, conceives the acts. He whose essence is knowledge, the person, and he dwells in the highest indestructible self. He who knows that indestructible being obtains what is the highest and indestructible. He without a shadow, without a body, without color, bright, yes, O friend. He who knows it becomes all-knowing, becomes all. On this there is this sloka. He, O friend, who knows that indestructible being wherein the true knower, the vital spirits, pranas, together with all the powers, Deva, and the elements rest. He being all-knowing has penetrated all. So a hierarchy doesn't mean that there has to be diversions. But among beings of choice, yeah, that's going to happen, but have to be. Anyways, so 11. And that list for he it is who sees, hears, smells, tastes, perceives, conceives, acts, he whose essence is knowledge. In verse 9, Buddha and the rest are the instruments of knowledge. but there is the knower, the person in the highest self. And overpowered by light, in the sense of profound sleep, are sushupte. He sees again, verse 5, the Givatman under the guise of Manas. The Sanskrit word is Deva, entity used in the sense of an invisible power, but as a masculine. The commentator uses Manodeva, page 212, 55. I generally translate Deva, if used in this sense, by faculty, but the context required a masculine. See verse 2. Well, just because we give masculine and feminine to these light beings or to the powers in nature beyond, without referring to the beings operating them, so that's the same, right? And the Hotra priest, verse 4, the name of the Hotra priest must be supplied. He is supposed to carry two oblations equally to the Havina, and in the same way, the Vyana combines the two breathings, the in and out breathings. And in verse 3, Havaniya fire. The comparison between the pranas and the fires or altars is not very clear. As to the fires or altars, there is the Garhapatya, placed in the southwest, the household fire, which is always kept burning, from which the fire is taken to the other altars, the Anvaharyapakana, commonly called the Dakshina fire, placed in the south, used chiefly for oblations to the forefathers, the Havaniya fire, placed in the east and used for sacrifices to the entities. Now the Apana is identified with the Garhapatya fire for no reason being given except afterwards, when it is said that Prana is the Havaniya fire being taken out of the Garhapatya, here called Pranayana, in the same manner as the Prana proceeds in sleep from the Apana. The Vyana is identified with the Dakshinagni, the southern fire, because it issues from the heart through an aperture on the right. And let us remember with stuff like that, that fire is like the will, the devotion, the intention, a bunch of stuff like that, right? And the fires of the pranas, as it were, pranayana, praniyata, asmad, ite, pranayano, garhapatyo, ne, and the highest faculty, Deva, see the note to verse 5, that we already gone over. Okay, we ought to read Agneya Eva in the place of the pranas, as it were, in verse 3. And fire for taking out, pranayana praniyate smad ete pranayano garhapatyo gneh.